Welcome to Scotting Movies. You know that moment in every romantic comedy where you're like screaming at the TV and saying, "He's right in front of you." Uh, that's the kind of movie we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about a movie called Crossing Delancey, another smaller independent film. It seems like I've done quite a few of those in the last I don't know, a couple of days. Um, Probably another one that many of you have never heard of. I like bringing some of these to your attention as well. But Crossing Delancey is like that kind of movie where you're screaming at the protagonist that the guy that she should go after is right in front of her, even though she's going after someone else. It's kind of like that, but it's smarter, it's sweeter, and has a lot more pickles in it. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's talk about what the movie is about. Synopsis. It follows Isabelle Grossman, who goes by Izzy to her friends. She's a bookish modern woman living on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. She works at a bookstore, dreams of being part of the literary elite, feels like her life is just one chance meeting away from transforming into something glamorous. Enter Anton Maes, who's a moody, acclaimed novelist who fits every single one of Izzy's checklist items and fantasies about sophistication and success. At the same time, really, enter a man named Sam Posner, a humble pickle salesman from the Lower East Side who sells brine and cucumbers on the street and is maybe the most emotionally intelligent person in the movie. Uh, and as she navigates the relationships between these two men, and knows that she wants the sophisticated upper class guy, but in her soul, she's starting to feel more linked to the pickle salesman. So, I want to talk about one of the themes of this movie. Here's where the movie shines the most. It's not about choosing between two men. Even though that's the plot, that is not what the movie's about. It's not about choosing between these two suitors. It's about unlearning the idea that love has to look a certain way. Izzy is smart. She's independent, but she's also completely caught up in this idealized version of love, of who she's supposed to fall for. Anton Maes represents that version. He's successful, he's artistic, he says things like, "You are very special," in the exact way that makes your eyes roll back into your head. But here's the kicker: Anton doesn't see Izzy. Not really. He sees a fan. He sees someone that uh, eventually he can boss around. Essentially, there's a moment in this film where he goes up to her, and she's thinking that he's going to say something romantic or finally ask her on this romantic date and everything, and instead he talks about her being his secretary, and it's a gut punch to her, it's a gut punch to us as the audience, but it's also us yelling at her through the audience, "I told you so, that's not the guy." um, he's smooth but not in the right way, you know. He's played by Jeroen Krabbe, I think he's actually pronounced it Jeroen Krabbe, and he nails that. You know, he's a villain in most of his films, and in this case, he's not a villain per se, but he's slightly predatory and intellectual. Then you've got Sam, played by Peter Riegert. Sam is just kind. He listens. He shows up. He owns who he is. He's not trying to pretend to be something other than what he is. He's right up front about the fact that he's a street salesman that sells pickles, cucumbers, and pickle juice. And Izzy initially sees him as too plain, not the right sophisticated type of mindset that she thinks that she needs to look for. And meanwhile, all of us in the audience are screaming at her, you know, he's the one. His performance is all soft spoken warmth and subtle strength. There's no big declarations, no grand gestures, just consistent affection. Um, the last performance I wanted to talk about is Amy Irving, who plays Izzy. She plays her with this beautiful balance of vulnerability and stubbornness. You totally get her hangups, why she doesn't want to go for one guy, and why she thinks that she needs to go for this highly successful intellectual. You understand her. It makes it frustrating at times, sure, because we're we're saying, what about me? What about the guy that isn't this really successful person? Um, when the emotional payoff comes, and I've talked about a portion of that, it really does hit. Also, a shout out to Sylvia Miles, who plays her grandmother, kind of the ultimate grandma wing woman. She's hilarious. She's heartfelt. The kind of character who starts as comic relief, but by the end of it, she's the one that's spewing all of the important messages and the realizations that Izzy is taking from. The supporting cast adds so much texture, but honestly, it's this central triangle that carries the whole thing. And I guess I'm using that term triangle loosely because for us, it's not a triangle. It's a straight line. You know, it should be Izzy and it should be Sam. Anton is not part of this mix in our minds, and so we're just trying to get her to realize that before she moves on. And let's talk about New York for a second, because New York is a character in this film. Delancey, in the title, is a street in New York, and that's where this particular story takes place. Uh, and obviously, you're talking about crossing from one side of the street to the other in more than just one literal way. You're talking a little bit more in a metaphorical sense. Um, you cross Delancey, you go from the upper west side to the lower east side. That's kind of what that's talking about. You're going from the really snobby, almost idealistic and wealthy part of town, part of Manhattan, down into a little bit more blue collar. And so you're talking about this in a metaphorical sense. I lived in New York for a summer. I did an internship there, and there's something about the city of New York that is so energetic, so electrifying, um, and you can feel that while watching this movie. It feels you see both sides of this town, and I went up and down Brooklyn, is where I worked most of the time, and there's also right across the Brooklyn Bridge, which is where I lived, is kind of a really nice part of town, uh, and it's it's office buildings, it's nice hotels, and all of those nice little things. Um, and then when you take the subway down south toward Coney Island, you start to go through these blue collar towns, and even worse than that. And you get to see the colorful personality that New York City has. And it's the same thing with this movie. It doesn't just show you locations, it gives you community, it gives you culture, food, the rhythm of daily life, the Jewish traditions, the Yiddish phrases, the multi generational family dynamics. It's all baked in with care and authenticity. And Izzy is caught between these two worlds. She's caught because she works in the Upper West Side, the elitist kind of community, and that's where she thinks she belongs romantically as well. Meanwhile, she's starting to see this guy from the Lower East Side, uh, the much more blue collar and lesser kind of world, and she's kind of fascinated by both of these worlds. She's caught between them in a way that all of us are screaming at her that there's one right answer here, but it's not that simple for Izzy, and it wouldn't be that simple for any one of us. And that's why Amy Irving plays that so beautifully, because we can sense her frustration, her confusion of where she belongs and who she is. Uh, so wrapping up Crossing Delancey, what is it really about? It's a story of self-acceptance. It's a romance, yes, but it's also about letting go of who you think that you're supposed to be, and really just leaning into where your own happiness takes you. It's not about setting up these walls or these ideals of what it's supposed to be. It's about understanding who you are and where your own happiness leads you. When she finally gets there, it's not fireworks or slow motion kisses. It's just quiet. It's honest. It's earned. This movie could have easily been another forgettable romantic comedy, but instead it becomes something far more meaningful. It's thoughtful, it's funny, it's full of heart. There's no big twist. There's no artificial conflict. It's just people trying to figure each other out, trying to figure themselves out in a city that never stops moving. So the grade that I'm going to give this is a solid B plus. I'm adding the plus to it on what I initially thought. I convinced myself into a B plus. It is a very good romantic comedy, and it talks a whole lot more about the romance involved. And so it's not flashy, it's not formulaic, it's just real. Have you seen Crossing Delancey? What do you think about this sweet little film with a big heart and even bigger pickles? Uh, you know, let me know what you think of these reviews of this movie if you go and watch it. And like, subscribe, comment, engage with me. I'm here. I'm wanting to talk to you. I've talked to a few of you already over texts, and looking forward to do more. Thanks for watching. Remember that the best things in life are sometimes found on the other side of the street. Thanks, everyone.